There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
Now, Pioneer Electronics recently made the headlines, dropping bombs with some brand new product, super fresh, that you dealers are going to be super excited about. Tremendous value. We've got product expert Harry Kroll and Robert Mony in the studio with us today to tell you all about this new product, as well as some new revisions and features that you may not be aware of. This is CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM, Pioneer, and it starts now. Hey guys, what's going on? And thanks for tuning in to another CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and as we continue to trek down the path of source units, we come across a juggernaut in the field. Of course, we're talking about Pioneer Electronics. You know, that company you fell in love with when you were a kid are still at it today, and they've got some big news, dropping bombs, like I said earlier, with a brand new offering, which, man, I'll tell you, you might be shocked, not only at the features that it packs, but also at the price. Yes, the price is going to be certainly something that's going to be very attractive. We're also going to be talking about all different kinds of things when it comes to software and maybe some hidden, features that you may not know of. So before we do that, let's go ahead and bring our first guest on. We're talking about the Senior Sales and Territory Manager of Pioneer. His name is Robert Mony.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
Robert, I got to say, man, it is good to have you back on CMA. It's been a minute. So happy to have you back.
Actually, I'm really excited to be with you guys today. Really excited. You did a quick mention about software, so we bring new things to the market. So new hardware, but more importantly, software things. So software change, software update. So it's a brand new world. It's a new way of thinking the product, new process. So we no longer talk about something that will be locked to the features that you have when you buy the product. So it's totally new product. So really excited to share with you all these things today.
How great is it? How great does it feel, Robert, to finally be here today to talk about some new product in the source unit category?
I can't be more excited. Actually, the announcement we will do with you today are things different. So we want to share with you how the thinking process is different at Pioneer than what you used to have with most popular brand on the market for in-car electronics. So it's not just the typical box, from the in-dash receivers to bring you the fun from the source to the ears, actually.
Very, very cool. Okay. But to do this, it's not just you. You have a teammate that's joining us who is somewhat of a legend of the game. I'll put it that way. He is the national trainer for Pioneer Electronics. His name is Harry Kroll. What's going on, Harry? Thanks, man. Again, good to see you too, Harry.
Great to see you, brother. Great to see you. Robert, also great to see you. So happy to be here.
Man, we're talking Pioneer. We're talking new product, both hardware and software. And one thing I want to mention, I'm happy you're here to talk to us about it, Harry, is Pioneer is just loaded with some unique features that I feel that maybe not all dealers, or even consumers for that matter, may know about or may be taking the most advantage of. So I feel that this may be the time to kind of refresh their memory.
Well, Ben, I think that many dealers around the country and end users, our customers, expect a product from Pioneer that is very good audio quality, and they expect an excellent build quality from Pioneer. And as part of that, they buy a product and they say, okay, I got this radio, awesome, let's put it in a dash, and that's what you get. What not everybody understands is recently Pioneer has done some firmware updates to in-dash receivers that give you like huge new features built into the radios that you already have. You bought this radio a year and a half or something ago. Pioneer has done some firmware updates to it to give you new stuff, almost give you a new receiver. And, you know, one of those things specifically is Apple CarPlay split screen. If you're an Apple CarPlay user, this is a huge difference for you. And then, you know, we can jump into just a little bit about Pioneer Smart Sync and the just slick new features that are part of Smart Sync. Great new stuff. And don't forget, I want to talk about the new radio before we're finished here, because I think, you know, that's going to be a big one.
All right. So we're talking about some key features from a software perspective. We're going to talk about SmartSync itself, which I think is an ingenious, you know, piece of technology that I definitely want to dive into. And of course, we're not going to let you go without telling us all the great new things about this new radio that I think a lot of people are tuning in for. So
perfect.
With
I'll
that
do the
said,
best I can.
well, I know you will. So with that said, we're going to start off this session with a little video that talks about Pioneer's evolutive design. Let's find out what that's all about. All right.
Nice.
So Ben, Apple CarPlay split screen, I want to be very clear on what products this is available with and so forth. So if you are an owner of DMHWT 8600 NEX or DMHWT 86 NEX, you can use Apple CarPlay split screen. If you have DMHWT 7600 NEX or 76 NEX, you can use Apple CarPlay split screen. And if you have DMHWC 6600 NEX, you can use Apple CarPlay split screen. So the common sort of denominator here is it's the 10.1 inch screens or the 9-inch screens from Pioneer. And when you do upgrade to firmware version 3.0, you will get Apple CarPlay split screen if you want to use it. And you saw from the video that you can use it in full screen or split screen. And, you know, when that side panel comes up there, you can, you know, adjust the radio station that you're listening to or change the music source that you're listening to. You can also use it to adjust your climate controls if you're using that type of a system that requires on-screen climate controls. And this is a huge leap forward in kind of functionality of this product, because previously If I had, and the example is on-screen climate controls is the perfect example. If I wanted to adjust the air conditioner or the heater while I'm driving around, but I'm using Apple CarPlay, I have to exit out of Apple CarPlay, go into the system receiver, find the climate control settings, make my adjustment, and then go back to Apple CarPlay, all trying to do that without crashing my car. Now with split screen, I can adjust the air conditioner without just touching the screen. A couple of taps on the screen, I can adjust the air conditioner. And if you want to make the split screen go away, touch the button and it goes away. It's a very, very powerful tool.
I gotta say, I can't believe that nobody else has come up with that yet. One of the most annoying features of either CarPlay or Android Auto is having to back out of menus to get to other functions, including Sirius XM, including climate controls, including anything of that nature. You have to back out. And when you're driving, to back out in and come back in, exactly what you're saying, Harry, not
especially
the safest
when you're
thing.
on map.
Especially when you're on map. So, I mean, although the purpose of Apple CarPlay was to be safer, it actually, because it doesn't allow you to access the other functions, I'm going to say that's questionable. But never mind that. This split screen feature totally solves that. Love it.
And this was not there in 2021. So it's free thing that we've had it early this year. As we had it as an example, the Maestro RR multi-camera view, which I call the bird eye view. So this was not there as well. So we had it this earlier this year, I think kind of March, early April. And where now any car who support the multi-camera system from the OEM interface will be built in and available into our unit following that firmware update to version 3.0.
Amazing, because
let me be clear about this firmware update though. Okay, so it's a firmware update for all the Pioneer Next receivers that have been released in the past couple of years. So that is DMH-WT 8600 NEX and 86, okay, 7600 NEX and 76, 6600, and 4660, 4600. And there's one more, it's 57, right? 5700. All of them need to be updated to version 3.0. The Apple CarPlay split screen that we saw only works on the 10.1 and the 9-inch screens. All of them need to be updated to version 3. And there was additional features for all of them, but Apple CarPlay split screen only on the largest screens. And the reason for that is when you get down to like a 6.8-inch screen and you do split screen from there, the split screen side is becoming very small. Okay. And trying to adjust your climate controls on that very small area
may not be safer.
It may be worse than going out and adjusting the climate controls and coming back. So it's just a matter of screen real estate. All right, is where it works. So this was not available on the original radios that shipped, a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's a free update. But the stuff that is shipping now directly from Pioneer to dealers very likely has the latest firmware,
but you should check anyway.
Installed from the fact, but you should check anyway.
You should check anyway. Now, you mentioned, Robert, the improved iDataLink Maestro RR multi-camera system that's now included.
Yeah.
Harry, what if you have stuff for iData? What about the Metro Access? Anything new from that end of things?
Well, so let me just take a step back from that before we pursue that. In case you don't understand what's going on here, it's very important if you take an in-dash receiver, the factory receiver out, but that factory receiver had something like on-screen climate controls. The air conditioner controls were on that screen. The new receiver that you put back in there has to give you your climate controls back, or you've got no air conditioner. Right. So that's the point of using something like Maestro RR or RR2 or Metro Access. Now, the Metro guy isn't here on this on our meeting here, and neither is the iDataLink guy, the Maestro guy. So I can say Metro Access and Maestro they solve very similar problems. Okay, that I don't want to say they're the same thing because they're certainly not, but they solve similar problems from vehicles with that type of thing. And there's one plug on the back of these Pioneer receivers that can work with Maestro RR, or it can work with Metro Access. You would never use them both at the same time.
Right.
But you can go one or the other. And this gives dealers and customers more options and more choices. And I like more options and more choices in anything that I do in the way I'm going to do an install. So
especially with supply condition, actually. So if a dealer is having issues having a Maestro RR on their hands, then you have a backdoor with the Metro Access or vice versa. So it's win-win.
So just like I showed you on that video, the Maestro RR on-screen climate controls, we can also now bring up widgets from Metro Access onto the main screen. And you have direct access to Metro Access right on the kind of the home screen for the in-dash receiver. It's a big step forward.
It's a step up in integration. It's a step up in user interface. And again, you're just packing more value even after the sale, right? This is amazing. Amazing.
You know, this is stuff that it's the firmware for new receivers that are being developed right now is going to include this. So since it has to include this, we're releasing that software to consumers now to bring them up to date with that, because you have an extremely powerful tool here. Why do you want to wait to get it out where you can help people with it? That's the idea.
Awesome. And it's a great idea. We said at the top of the show, tons of added value features, even after the fact, through these updates. Make sure you get the latest update. That's the takeaway from there. All right.
Constant work in progress. Yeah.
100%, 100%. And know that if you're going to buy a new Pioneer unit, can I use the word future proof? You know what I mean? Like, if there's going to be new features and it's going to be software based, hardware notwithstanding, if it's software based, you're probably going to get it. So don't worry, that's a nice feeling to have.
Yeah, that's a super important point, Penn, and thank you for bringing it up. I get this question all the time, and it says, hey, will this firmware update give my receiver wireless CarPlay or wireless Android Auto? It didn't have it before. No, if your receiver didn't have wireless, that's because it doesn't have the hardware chips inside. Changing the software doesn't give you wireless. It's not going to do that.
Exactly. Just wanted to make that clear to manage any expectations. So there you go. All right. Going down the path of unique technology and features, we're going to get into something unique to Pioneer, and it's called SmartSync. You might have heard us talk about it in previous sessions. We're going to dive in deep. We have a video we're going to play so you can understand what it's all about, and then we're going to get Harry to kind of really break it down for us. So let's play the video on SmartSync.
So, Ben, you can see that Pioneer SmartSync is a graphical user interface that gives you pretty much full control over your audio-only in-dash receiver. Now, in this video that we just showed you, we featured the SPH10BT. That's the model number of this in-dash receiver, and it's got an integrated phone cradle. So that phone cradle that you saw is actually part of the in-dash receiver. And this receiver is designed from the ground up to be 100% controlled by your phone. And kind of the principle behind this product is really simple, okay? I just dropped $1,000 on a cell phone. I love it more than I love my life, and I never want to put it down. I take it with me everywhere I go, and it's constantly touching me in some way. I want to use this for everything, and I want to jam with it when I'm in my car. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just drop that thing into a cradle, and now I can use my phone that I love so much to do everything, including helping me navigate where I want to go, listen to whatever music I want to do, message with people, and make phone calls. And it gives me the look and feel of a high-end audio video receiver, but it's just a 1-DIN receiver with a cradle. And this is just a perfect situation for tons of people who love to use their phone in so many ways.
First of all, may I say that that might be the industry's best phone cradle, in the perfect position every single time, because we all have problems getting the right placement of our big phones. We're not talking flip phones from back in the day. We're talking these smartphones that are big. That I did not know, and asked Robert when I first seen that image. I'm like, does the phone cradle come with it? And where did you get that one? I did not realize that it was actually part of the radio. So I'm happy that you brought that up. That phone cradle is part of the system.
Yes.
And on a funny note, also, when you're not using the car, you can pull out and slide in the phone cradle.
Even better.
So it doesn't draw any attention on the unit. And for the older guys in you, maybe this look like a cassette player. So it's not drawing attention to.
No, absolutely. And it's not a flashy unit, because it's we're not talking about a giant 8-inch screen or anything of that nature. It's just a basic single DIN unit. What I love about this is the incorporation of that app to the interactivity that the user has with the device, and also the graphical interface. It's very pleasant. It looks very modern. And honestly, for me, like if my 17-year-old son is going to get his first car, that's the radio going in it, because I ain't going to buy him no giant screen that is going to get all the attention from all these kids that I don't necessarily want. But I want him to have the features of the hands-free, the Bluetooth playing, and
navigation.
Yeah.
Very important.
It brings the touchscreen features without the touchscreen price tag,
or the attention, attention of the touchscreen unit.
Just a quick things. We're talking about the SPH10, and many people think that SmartSync are available only for that piece. If I'm showing you that piece, which is
the entry level
unit.
Yeah,
it's a double DIN that works as well with SmartSync. It's
okay.
not only one unit; it's multiple.
But
units.
that one doesn't have the cradle, though.
No.
That's correct. No cradle with that. But if you have any other phone cradle or a way to mount your phone up so you can use it, you get the exact same user experience with that in-dash receiver that you do with the one with the cradle with SPH10BT. And
that's connected via Bluetooth, not wired.
That's correct. Yeah. It's a wireless connection with Bluetooth. And when you connect your phone with the Pioneer SmartSync app to any compatible in-dash receiver, and there's tons of them, you have complete control over the in-dash receiver right through your cell phone. And by the way, on a receiver like this that Robert's showing us right now, if you want to change the volume without using the cell phone or change the radio station, you can do that too. If you just want to touch the radio because that's what you do, that works fine.
It doesn't defeat the tactile control.
Right. No, it does not defeat the in-dash controls. But what it does for you, Ben, is
communication.
It's a graphical user interface to use this radio. So I'm talking about things like crossovers and slopes that are available in this receiver are all done on a graphical user interface on the phone. It's great. And if you're lying in the trunk of a car trying to set up amplifiers and you need to change the crossover on the receiver, it is awesome to pull your phone out of your pocket and be able to do that.
Right. You don't have to have another guy in the front, doing the adjustment or giving you the reading or whatnot. The other thing is, and maybe I missed it in the video, does that GUI do both landscape and portrait mode?
Yes, it does. All you have to do is rotate the phone. It'll automatically do landscape or portrait for you. I tend to use to demonstrate that in landscape mode. I think it's kind of better for demonstration that way. But a lot of people like to use a cradle that holds their phone, up and down in portrait mode, and that works just fine too.
That's amazing.
So this thing brings features out of the receiver that you think that, well, some of them aren't there, but it's difficult to get to, and it gives you that graphical user interface, just like you having a double DIN radio. But one example is all of these in-dash receivers have a 13-band EQ built into them. When you use the Pioneer Smart Sync app, it's a free app, you now get a 31 band EQ built into that radio. And you get control over every band if you want to, or you can use it as a bass, mid, and treble control if you want to. It's a very powerful system. And like we said, crossover slopes, if you understand what you're doing with that stuff, it's all available to you in Pioneer Smart Sync. And then, just to me, everybody uses their phone for navigation, but people don't integrate their phone with the in-dash receiver. That's what this does. The navigation button on Pioneer in-dash receivers, if you touch that button, you launch your favorite nav app from your phone. It's Google Maps, or it's Apple Maps, or it's Waze, or a handful of other navigation apps. Touch that navigation button, and now you have nav on your phone and full turn-by-turn instruction, mutes the audio, tells you to make the turn. When you make the turn, the audio comes back just like you would expect. That's what Smart Sync does.
And I'm going to assume, obviously, since it's software based, there's going to be updates and it's going to improve over time.
There are updates. And we introduced Pioneer Smart Sync back in, I think it was CES of 2018. And since then, that was version 1 of the thing. We're on version 4 and some change right now. We introduced, I think, version 4.0 back in January, February timeframe. And so there's a couple of very important things to understand with this. So like we said, this works on SBH10BT. That's the radio with the cradle built into it. And it also works on pretty much every Pioneer audio-only receiver that's been introduced over the past few years too. So any audio receiver that has that arrow on it, that navigation button, it'll work with that. So with the introduction of version 4.0 of Pioneer Smart Sync, we also did a firmware update for every compatible in-dash receiver, right? So every compatible in-dash receiver has a firmware update that meshes up with version 4.0 or newer for Pioneer Smart Sync. And so I greatly encourage you, if you have an in-dash receiver, an audio-only in-dash receiver, and it's got that navigation button on it, it works with Smart Sync, check pioneerelectronics.com for the latest firmware update. You'll download it onto a USB flash drive, plug it into your receiver, and that update will run. And then you will have that better meshed Pioneer Smart Sync app and in-dash receiver. Super important to do that. But it introduced some new features too with version 4.0. And one of them is taking data directly from the OBD2 port on your vehicle and bringing it up to the screen in very fast time so you can see what's going on. It's funny, I don't like to use the term real time because there is a bit of latency to it, a quarter of a second, tenth of a second sort of latency to it. So some people, if you say real time, is it instant? Absolutely instant. The instant that I touch the gas pedal, that shows on the RPM meter on my screen. It's not like that. There's a tiny bit of latency, but it is very, very fast. And, this is a free update from Pioneer, but you need an OBD2 port adapter to make it work.
Is that sold by Pioneer?
And the good things, by the way, it works with the American guys and the Canadian guys. So it's user setting for the matrix system or standard system.
Yep, absolutely. And that OBD2 connectivity through SmartSync, would that also apply to even that Cradle single DIN model?
Yes, it certainly does. So let's get to the OBD2 port adapters first. Okay, you started with a question, does Pioneer sell those? And the answer is no. Pioneer does not sell any OBD2 port adapter. And I want to be very clear that Pioneer is not affiliated with any of the companies in any way that sell the OBD2 port adapters. So I can't recommend a specific one that works. But here's what I can do. If it's very important, if you want, there are tons of these OBD2 port adapters that are going to work. If you want one that will work with Pioneer Smart Sync, there's two things you have to know about the OBD2 port adapter. The first one is it has to work with Bluetooth version 4.0 or newer. Okay, Bluetooth version 4.0 or newer, and you're in. The other thing it has to support, this is the OBD2 port adapter, okay? The other thing it has to support is BLE. BLE is Bluetooth Low Energy. BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy. If you have those two things supported by the OBD2 port adapter, Bluetooth version 4.0 and BLE, it will almost certainly work with Pioneer Smart Sync. So look for those two things and you should be good.
Very good. Very, very cool. You know, if you can, I would. I mean, if I had that opportunity to hook in, why not get that more data on the screen that you've already paid for?
Yeah. And you can personalize your screen the way you want. So if you want to have some metric from the OBD2 interface with different system like the menu system or whatever. So it's just as it works on your smartphone to move and personalize it the way you want it. You just touch and slide, and you make it the way you prefer.
I guess I should just ask the question. I mean, let's say I wasn't interested in this OBD stuff. Is it worthwhile anyways keeping these type of updates, you know, done to all my units?
Well, yeah, it absolutely is, Ben. I mean, certainly the OBD2 port thing is kind of cool and fun, especially for performance car guys. This is great stuff. But you don't have to use it, certainly. And there are other parts of it that doing the update and the firmware update and the latest firmware or the latest version of the app itself, okay, is super important. And that is about Bluetooth connectivity when you first pair the in-dash receiver to the phone. We're using Pioneer SmartSync. And very importantly, when you come back to your vehicle. So you drive over to the convenience store and you go in to get a Slurpee. When you come back out, you're going to start your car. You want them to automatically find each other and connect and start SmartSync without you having to look at it. That's the key. And that's part of that firmware update and version 4.0 and newer.
Again, enhanced seamless user interface. You know, God, does that ever bother me when I have to reconnect? Does that not bother you? It really bothers me.
Of course it does. Yeah, you shouldn't feel that sort of pain. It should work better. So one more thing I want to say about that is, you know, I hear from certain people, and like I don't want to use the app. You don't have to use the app, not for anything. You can just forget that the app exists, get it off, take it off your phone and not use it at all. And you still have the same in-dash receiver that you had before. You do not have to use the app, not for playing Bluetooth audio, not for phone calls, not for anything. You don't have to use it. But if you choose to use it, you will find it to be a very useful and powerful tool. And you may use it all the time if you give it a chance.
So there you have it,
never
guys.
Go back for sure.
Harry recommends it. Don't be scared of the app. Try it out. You might like it. You might like it. All right. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of excited about this last part of our conversation here, guys. It's been a while. It's been a minute, like they say, since we've talked about some new product. And your new product is quite aggressive, might I say, in a good way. It's packed with features at an incredible price. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Let's play the video. Let's introduce the world to this new unit from Pioneer. And we're going to come back and talk about it.
So, Ben, that is our first look at the Pioneer DMHW 2770 next. This is, to drop it right where it needs to be, this is wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto for a map price of $430 US or $540 in Canada. That's wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto from Pioneer at a extremely affordable price.
That's the first.
That is extremely affordable is the right term for it. You know, obviously wireless has kind of been the buzzword for the last, I'll call it, I don't know, 18 months, let's call it. I mean, everybody knows Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but to make it wireless, I think I've already complained about this in the past. I have a brand new vehicle. It does not have wireless Apple CarPlay, but yet it has a wireless charger. This makes no sense in my mind. But anyhow, having said that, this is an incredible value-packed, package. I'm going to let you go right through all the features, but just at first glance, my initial impressions, I mean, it looks like a Pioneer unit. It feels like a Pioneer unit. There's a Pioneer logo in the front. It's got that modern bezel-less kind of, high-end feel that we used to have to pay a lot more money for. Yeah, man, at a very attractive price.
So this is a capacitive screen, 6.8-inch capacitive screen that works with wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. So, Ben, when I talk to dealers around the country, and by the way, customers, end users around the country, what everybody says the same thing. I want Apple CarPlay or I want Android Auto. This is what I'm hearing more and more at retail shops around North America is people walk in the store and they say, I want Apple CarPlay or I want Android Auto. Okay, I've got what you need then. And it is at a very affordable price. So, capacitive screen, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Oh, by the way, if you want to plug them in through USB, that works too. All right.
So it has
both? Yeah, sure, for both.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so and that means it also has a USB port. That USB port you can use to charge your phone, or you can use to play back, music or movies. Obviously while your vehicle is safely parked with the parking brake engaged. This receiver, though, you need to understand, does not support Maestro RR and does not support Metro Access. Okay, and that is part of the balancing act you have to do in manufacturing. All right, so if I'm going to bring this product in at a very affordable price, some features have to come out of it to make that price more affordable. Okay, so it's got a simple user interface for AM/FM radio, a simple user interface for Sirius XM. It does not support Maestro RR and does not support Metro Access, but what it does is gives you the exact same Apple CarPlay experience and Android Auto experience that you get with other Pioneer Next in-dash receivers. When you're using CarPlay, and if that's what you want to use, your experience will be exactly the same on this receiver and it will on every other Pioneer radio, minus one thing. That would be Apple CarPlay split screen. It's a smaller screen,
that's not
so it's not going to support
the size of the screen, not because of the series of the price, but simply it's not the size of the screen.
That's correct.
If you look at that one, 27 or that 4660, they are the same screen size, so they will not support CarPlay split screen.
Gotcha.
But once they are in wireless Apple CarPlay, they look exactly the same. Or
the interface, the interface,
they look exactly the same.
The experience is exactly the same. Now, while you have that up, Robert, I'm going to notice something here.
Yep.
The chassis seems to be shorter than normal. I mean, I'm sure that was done, purposely.
Yeah. Let me bring that piece.
That's a full depth CD player. Okay, and since we're going to call that full depth because if you put a CD in there, there has to be room for it to go all the way back without going through the back of the radio.
Correct.
And you can see that the DMHW 2770 Next is much shallower, shorter and easier to install. And more to that point, all of the connections on the back are on pigtails. So you don't have to have, RCA connections directly plugged into the back. Everything here is on pigtails that can make the installation much simpler. Okay, so and Sirius XM, your RCA outputs, backup camera input, all of those things are on pigtails like this. that can make the installation much easier, especially in one of those shallow dash areas where things are very tight fit.
I just want to point out, not because they're important to us or anything, but man, that's a very attractive unit with all the features and Sirius XM ready on top of that. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you, Harry. I didn't think that'd be part of it.
Now you still have to add on,
as Harry mentioned. So if we go this way,
right, with the pigtail. Gotcha.
It's shallower. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it right now, if I need to install it on the back panel, I will have a bigger connector. Mm-hmm. So we're saving space this way as well.
Beautiful.
Now, one thing that I want to point out about this receiver, Ben, is that it includes a GPS antenna. Okay, now there's no navigation built in here, right? Mm-hmm. And I get this question all the time. In fact, let me tell you the question that I get all the time from shops around the countries and from end users is, Pioneer, you're so dumb. Why do you have this GPS antenna on this receiver? It doesn't have navigation built into it. Pioneer, if you were smarter, you would just use the GPS that's in the phone. And then you wouldn't have to charge anybody for that GPS antenna. You see? Well, let me explain why we include a GPS antenna. And it's all about wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Okay? So here's my phone, and I don't know about anybody like this, but some people like to put their phone in their back pocket, right? Get the phone in the back pocket, sit in the car. Now I start up my car and my Apple CarPlay, and I'm just going to use, this works for Android Auto too, but I'm just going to use Apple CarPlay as my example here. Apple CarPlay comes up on the screen, and I'm sitting on my phone, metal roof, phone is facing the ground, and my entire body and seat is in the way of it. And I say, okay, navigate. Hey, Siri, I need to navigate to the airport. And Siri says, okay, let's go, except I don't have any GPS because you are blocking the GPS. All right. Your body is blocking it. It's in the, on the seat. Or maybe you have your phone in your handbag. Okay. Tell me this couldn't happen. Put your phone in your handbag and you put the handbag on the floor on the passenger seat, and it rolls over this way with the phone on the bottom. Computer, books laying on top of it, on the metal floor, a metal roof above you. You have no GPS. Right. And so now I hear, hey, Pioneer, you suck because my Apple CarPlay doesn't give me navigation only half the time. Pioneer, you suck. Why can't you make this work better? Well, guess what? If I take a GPS antenna and I connect it to the receiver and I put that GPS antenna in a smart place, now, no matter where my phone is, I get good GPS. My phone can be in the trunk in my briefcase. If that's how it happens, and I'll still get Apple CarPlay and good GPS and turn-by-turn instruction. The point of Apple CarPlay wireless is that I don't have to worry about where the phone is. What orientation is it laying this way, pointing this way? Can it get GPS or not? It doesn't matter. Start the car and say, Siri, I need to navigate to the airport. And she says, okay, let's go. That's the point of having the GPS antenna in the box, and it needs to be installed.
So that was my question. Does that GPS antenna come in the box?
Yes, it's included in the box, certainly.
And while you're there, I may as well just ask the question, what is the ideal location to put that antenna?
Well, an ideal location would be up on the dash, but what many installers do, and it works fine, is put it like right on top of the receiver in the dash. Okay, so it's hidden and you don't have to see it. But that dash typically is vinyl and plastic, right? And so a GPS antenna is coming right through the windshield and right through that vinyl plastic dash, and you're receiving it just fine. Okay, so what's the perfect location would be up on the dash, and it's just glass in the way, or maybe on the back deck where there's just glass in the way. But a really good location is in the dash, facing up, a piece of double stick tape or Velcro or something on there will probably take care of that just fine.
And actually, in addition to that, if your GPS antenna is sitting on top of a metal plate or as an example, the top middle section here, it will do some kind of reflection of the GPS signal. So that will help the signal quality for having a better tracking.
Can I say something, guys?
Sure.
I'm going to say this. There has been a major influx of no-name, unbranded type of radios into the market of late. claiming all kinds of things. And we've already had this discussion. Why do we want to support brands like Pioneer? And, your fair competition. There's some great brands out there, I'm going to say,
Certainly,
that have been doing this for a long time and have committed, dollars and resources to specifically engineering product for the environment that it's supposed to be in. Some of this new unbranded product that has no history and has no R&D and all that stuff has taken a grip on some of the market. Now, this is where I'm getting with this. Here comes along Pioneer, using their resources, using their technology, using their brand name, and putting out a product that checks off all the boxes for the consumer right now. That same person that you said, Harry, that comes in and says, I want Apple CarPlay, I want Android, that person right there, check. Will it be, even at this low price point, I know this is hard to swallow, but even at this low price point, still may come in a little bit higher than some of this no-name stuff out there? The point is, what an easy way to switch that customer to a known brand like Pioneer and still check off all those boxes for just that little bit more.
I'll let you go, Ari, and I'll do something right after.
So, yeah, I think that is the case, Ben. You have to look at, and you have to consider that some people want the cheapest thing they can get no matter what, but I still want all of the magic that it does. Okay, what I'd like you to understand about that is that product may not stand up well to the rigors of being inside a vehicle for a few years, okay, because it gets hot. Okay, think San Antonio in the summertime. All right, it is hot and it is humid, and it gets cold. Think Winnipeg in the
I was just
wintertime.
going to say, Winnipeg.
Okay, it gets hot and it gets cold. Products have to be built so that they can stand up to this stuff over time. Pioneer products are built this way. All right, so they are not, $69 or something for CarPlay or something, because the product has to be built to stand up to it. And I want you to understand that Pioneer has been a tier 1 supplier to the automotive industry for 50 years. Okay, we supply products directly to the automotive industry, and in the automotive industry, their number one goal is reliability. Okay, the product must be reliable, especially over time. That doesn't mean products never fail. Machines fail. That is what they do. It is only a matter of time. But when you spend your hard-earned dollars, you expect that thing to work for a reasonable period of time. I have products in my house that, frankly, I spent some money on them, but they owe me nothing at this point because they've been around for a while. That's the way I kind of measure it. Okay, I expect you will get good lifetime out of a Pioneer product. We build the product with very good quality. We back the product with service centers and and customer support that goes along with it. But you can get cheaper if you want, but be prepared. You have to ask the question: is this even licensed by Apple? Does Apple even know that thing exists? And will Apple shut it off one day? You don't know. Is that thing going to turn on in the heat? Is it going to turn on in the cold? And what if you drive from Winnipeg to San Antonio? You got to do both of them in the same day. It's quite a drive, but you have to deal with this stuff in an automotive environment, and it's a harsh place. We deal with that stuff in the best way we can.
And for 50 years.
I think to go a bit further on what Harry mentioned about the certification and all these things. So in addition of all the build quality we have in our own process for building something with such quality, is we need to certify those things. So we're not putting logo or saying that is Apple CarPlay or wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto without passing through the long certification process before applying the official logo and stamp on our box and in our manual. So I think both dealers and customers should do their due diligence and investigate a bit further on that by looking at, today it's pretty easy to go over the web and look for the PDF owner manual of any unit without buying that unit, and look for the owner manual. Try to find the official certification logo at the end of those manual. And if there's no official logos within their manual, that's something that should raise a flag somewhere.
There's two indicators for me. This is me personally. Number one, I got to look for the real Android Auto and Apple CarPlay certification. That's because there's a process to that. And you're right, Harry. It's lengthy to even get that. So that's number one. The other one that is a clear indicator for me is Sirius XM. And I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing the hat. You notice it's not just any brand that is Sirius XM compatible. It's the top brands that are. They do not allow for the lesser brands. I say lesser. Maybe I shouldn't say lesser. But you know what I mean? Not the premium brands to be Sirius XM compatible with that technology. So I think those are two key indicators for me, especially if you're a dealer or a consumer tuning in and you're not sure about something. If that item you're looking for don't have either of those two, there should definitely raise a flag. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it should. So, Ben, let me circle back on this latest radio, DMHW 2770 next. And by the way, there's another model. It's DMHW 2700 next, 2700. Not 2770, okay? And they are effectively the identical radio. 2770 includes a remote control in the box.
I noticed that in the video. There was a remote, yeah.
Yes, 2700 does not include that remote control, but you could add the remote control if you want it. Okay, so these products will be available in Canada and in the US, which are largely the people that are going to be seeing this video. So this product is directed right to the Apple CarPlay user or the Android Auto user, and wireless makes it even better. But I want to point out that it may not be the perfect fit for everybody. Okay, so we talked earlier about on-screen climate controls. And if you are taking a radio out of your dash that has on-screen climate controls, you need to put a new one back in there that gives you your air conditioner back, right? So this radio is not the right fit for you. You need to have a radio that supports Maestro RR or Metro Access and get that back. So this isn't the perfect radio for everybody, but if Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless are your main goal, it has to be something that you consider, right? And additionally, if you want higher end audio features, this isn't a very good audio product, but if you want higher end audio features like time alignment, 4-volt RCA output, being able to set up your system as high, mid, and low output, that's a different radio from Pioneer.
High-res audio also would be another consideration.
An excellent point as well. So yeah, the reason we have other higher end and more expensive products is because there are other options that are available and maybe a better fit for other customers. But if your main thing is Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, this might be a great fit for you.
All right. I think that says it all there. An absolutely important unit that's being introduced. I know dealers are going to be all over it. Let's just summarize everything we learned today real quick. I'm going to go with you, Harry. We talked about, the importance of being able to add new value, add new features through software updates. We talked about the Smart Sync app, which I think is an awesome and very unique feature that I feel maybe overlooked, and I'm hoping You know what? On that note, I forgot. I need to mention something. Dealers, if you're paying attention to this, you've seen that Smart Sync unit. You cannot have that in your display without having a phone attached to it. You will not sell it. It's just an overpriced phone cradle at that point with a single DIN that doesn't look that interesting. So I just wanted to mention that.
Right.
I just wanted to mention that. So, if you're going to have that unit, you want to move those, put a phone to it and let them play with it. They will then understand. Trust me, that generation of individuals will get it, but you have to show it to them. All right. So that's the Smart Sync thing. And last but not least, this new quoted affordable wireless CarPlay full screen unit. Man, freaking awesome. Congratulations to you guys to even be able to put this out and put the Pioneer brand name on it and everything that comes with it. So having said that, Harry, how would you summarize everything that we talked about today?
Well, I would summarize it this way, Ben. You expect Pioneer to produce a high quality product and high quality hardware, and you expect support from Pioneer. This is additional support that you might not even know about. Bring your customers back in the store and tell them about firmware update version 3 and find something else to sell them on while you're there. Show people Pioneer Smart Sync. They will buy it because they love their phones and they want to use their phones for everything. Show them how it works. They will buy it. And with the DMHW 2770 Next, you need to buy it. Okay, if you haven't ordered it yet from Pioneer, you need to get your order in because this product is shipping right now.
Boom. There it is. Mic drop. Harry, thank you so much for coming in today, sharing with us all your knowledge. And this was a good one, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Ben. I had a good time.
We'll talk to you on the next one. Take care, Mr. Harry.
Be well.
Robert, he said it right there. He said it's shipping right now. So I'm just going to ask you point blank. What is the availability of this new unit, especially for our Canadian viewers that are obviously very
Actually, receive the order for the first incoming. We are already doing deliveries on those units. We have the next incoming schedule. It should be end of August, early September, if things goes the right way. But actually, so far, I should say 98% of our current independent dealers ordered it. If not, it's a matter of time to have it done. So go in stores, ask to your dealers for the new wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, the affordable one, and they will show you the Pioneer one for sure.
Well, and if you're a dealer, apparently there's a second shipment. So get a hold of Robert and the team. Let's go ahead and bring out the information. PioneerElectronics.com. That's where you're going to go if you want to fact check if Harry got any model numbers wrong, because he only spit out 37 different model numbers during this session. So you can fact check him to see if he knows his stuff or not. Otherwise, get on that website and learn about all the new products, including the brand new unit we just discussed today. Robert, that was a good one, man. We'll see you on the next one. I think we're going to be talking about what? Some dash cams, maybe some pro audio a little bit later on, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and a bit of audiophile as well.
Audiophile as well, absolutely. Sir, that's cool. We'll talk to you soon.
Merci. Thank you.
All right. Pioneer coming to the game hard with some very aggressive products and some cool technology. Hopefully you learned as much as I did on this one. Want to remind you to continue tuning in to CMA Networks right through until August 10th. As you can see, we are deep into the source unit sessions. We are covering all the top brands one day, one brand at a time. And if you like this video and you want more from either Robert or Harry or from Pioneer, make sure you check out our website, cmanetworks.com. Check out their channel, search for them by brand, check out Harry's channel, all the videos we've done there for you to view. That's it for this CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about
Stop
it. Today we're gonna go
Yo,
topics.
roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?